On this episode of Driven, we'll hear from the offensive lineman whose job it is to protect one of the best quarterbacks in Ball State history. And we'll also see the story of field hockey player Anna Pride, who's the oldest player on the team as a freshman. Don't go anywhere. All that and more is coming up next on Driven.
Ball State Sports Links Driven is proudly presented by Stoops Automotive Group.
Hello everybody, I'm Zach Hughes. Welcome into Studio B in the October episode of Driven, brought to you by Stoops, driven to be the best. We have a lot of great stories coming your way this month, including an in focus on the soccer team, the first episode of Cardinal Ink, and as I mentioned, a great story on field hockey player Anna Pride. But the first story comes from the MAC West leading 8-1 Ball State football team. Entering the season, the team was forced to replace 4 starting offensive linemen, but it really seems like this new group is starting to click on all cylinders. Check out this feature called Life in the Trenches, produced by Aaron Van Auken and Luke Martin.
Definitely tough, strong, tenacious, smart.
Accountability. You gotta be reliable. I mean, you gotta count on everybody.
Brotherhood.
Friendship, trust.
They're guys that can fight through adversity, that can focus under fire and get the job done.
What does it take to battle in the trenches every play? Welcome to the life of an offensive lineman.
You want to be physical, obviously. I think you want to have a tough group. You want to have a disciplined group. You want to have guys who finish. You know what I mean? Finish every snap and take pride in blocking through the whistle and do all those things. They also, they can't be slugs. They got to be able to move a little bit and be athletic and quick feet and all that type of stuff. Balance.
Every play you're going out there, and it's not like a receiver where, some play you'll get the ball and you'll get hit. Every play is contact. Every play is, physical out there. So you really got to be a different breed to get out there and play O-line.
To weigh 300-something pounds and having to move a guy every play and not come out until the drive's done, it's hard to do, and you got to be in shape.
It gets a little tiring, but I mean, adrenaline's going a lot during the game, so we don't really think about it too much, and we get through it, no problem.
Every game, every snap, 5 men do whatever they can to protect Keith Winning and other offensive weapons.
Communication is probably the most important. If there's not the right communication, then it's going to be a bust, and we're gonna have some issues on that play.
5 guys got to play as one, so they got to be able to talk to each other and get on the same page every play and diagnose the things that they're seeing from the defense.
On any given play, 3 to 4 calls can be made to make my life so much easier.
If 4 people do something right and 1 person does something wrong, then it doesn't work.
No doubt linemen are big, strong, tough, rugged. But is that it? When you ask the Ball State Cardinals, there are some misconceptions about linemen.
The biggest thing that rubs me the wrong way is people don't really think it matters that much, but I'm obviously prejudiced, but I think it's the most important position on the field because without us, nothing happens. There's no run game, there's no pass game.
Linemen are just big, dumb uglies, but I think we're a pretty intelligent group.
I think sometimes actually when you really look at it, your offensive linemen are some of the smartest guys on the team.
We have to know more than just what the defensive line is doing. We have to know what the linebackers are going to do or what the safeties are going to do.
If it's 4 down, 5 down, 3 down, where are the backers at?
Looks will change on the fly. You got to be able to recognize what's going on right away. You have to be able to know your calls and communicate that to everybody on the line. It's not saying like we're quarterbacks out there, but there's definitely a lot of things to look at.
It takes a lot of intelligence to play offensive line, contrary to popular belief.
They may never be a top play on SportsCenter or grab a headline in the local newspaper, but what they do falls within their grasp.
It's really not something you do if you're looking for gratification. We don't score touchdowns, we don't make tackles, we don't get interceptions, but it's an accountable position where if I mess up, if I give up a sack, me being a tackle, you're gonna see when I mess up. If I miss a block, it's a tackle for loss. But when I do something good, nobody really knows. And you really gotta love your teammates, you really gotta be accountable, because it's nothing where like your name's gonna be in the paper or people gonna know about you, but it's something you just gotta have integrity.
I think we've come really far. I mean, beginning in spring ball, most of us had never started a game, and very few have played. And I think as each game goes on, we keep getting better. You know, we always hang out every weekend, hang out after practice and stuff. And there's a lot of like roommates within the team or within the offensive line. I think everyone gets along really well.
It makes communication way easier to be able to trust the guy next to us, and trust is a huge factor in family, and definitely in the offensive line family.
For Ball State Sports Link, I'm Luke Martin.
It's always great to give the linemen some love, because they're right. They really never show up on the stat sheet, and they're only noticed if they make that big mistake. The fans say, oh, what did the offensive lineman do? And I'm not trying to sound like too big of a football nerd, but as any coach or former player will tell you, games really are won and lost in those trenches. Our next story comes from just behind Schumann Stadium, though, in the Briner Sports Complex, as the soccer team is in the midst of a great season. And two players who have had a big impact on this season are Kelsey Shapiro and Kaylin Flanagan. Here's this in focus, produced by Braden Schlegelmilch.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Shapiro. I'm from Michigan, and I'm a center defender.
My name is Kaylin Flanagan. I'm from Ohio. I'm an outside mid,
And we're on the
Ball State soccer team.
I've been playing soccer probably as long as I've been able to walk. It's just kind of been something I've done for my whole life. My dad gave me my start. He was a huge soccer player, and he played in college, and he always threw me into it, so that's how it started.
My favorite thing about playing soccer is probably like no matter how long the day is, it's like something that you can go out and I have fun doing it, and I love the girls that we play with.
Some of my other hobbies are definitely just hanging out with like friends, and I actually love to bake. Actually, last year, me and my roommate, we did a 30 cupcake challenge, and we tried to make 30 different cupcakes by the end of the semester, and we were actually pretty successful, but some of them were a little weird.
When I was in high school, I was able to drink a gallon of milk in an hour.
Gallon of milk in an hour.
And not throw up.
No way.
No, dead serious. In high school, I could do it. Love milk. To be a Ball State athlete, it's cool because we're told like almost every day that like only a certain amount of people get to play like a D1 sport and like get this opportunity that we're given. And so when we're out there, we should play hard, and like that's exactly what we do.
I would like all the younger girls just to play with no regrets when they're on the field. I know it took me some time to actually get where I am today, so I definitely don't want other people to wait until their senior year to have the best year of their season, because it goes by really fast, so you might as well take it in all of it and hope it works.
The team has the most wins ever under head coach Craig Roberts this season, and they're hoping for their first MAC tournament championship in program history. What a way for her to go out as a senior if they were to get that MAC championship in the tournament. Now, this is where the program turned a little bit artsy with the premiere of Cardinal Ink. And the first edition of Cardinal Ink is about 3 members of the swimming and diving team: Jake Brimmer, Connor Snare, and Jessica Eckstein. Here's the stories behind their tattoos, produced by Andrew Boltmeyer.
I'm Jake Bremer, and I'm the men's swim team at Ball State.
My name's Connor Snare, and I'm a junior on the Ball State swim and dive team.
I'm Jessica Eckstein. I'm a freshman at Ball State, and I'm on the swim team.
My first tattoo is on my upper left shoulder and my back, and it is Mjolnir. It's the old symbol for Thor's hammer, and it means strength. The second tattoo was on my side, my ribs, left ribs, and it was a spider. I got bit by a black widow spider. I got very sick for like maybe 2 or 3 days, And after that, I slowly got better, returned to normal, and after that, I have not even had a cold, haven't been sick with anything, so there's no proof behind it being like helping that, but I like to think it has something to do with it. Third tattoo is on my right inner bicep, and it's the Ball State swim team bonefish, which is a thing that was created a long time ago by the swimmers. It just symbolizes the men's swim team, men and women's swim team, and it's just a tradition. It's on my left foot, it's the Chicago Bulls head. I'm just a huge Bulls fan, and I lived about 40 minutes from Chicago, so my dad used to take me to Michael Jordan games all the time.
It's a parachute with the date of when my grandpa died above it. My grandpa was a paratrooper in Vietnam, and he actually earned like the Purple Heart, the Silver Heart. He was buried in Arlington. He had the same tattoo on his arm, on the outside of his bicep. Well, I always looked up to him growing up, and he wasn't around for very long, and I don't think I could appreciate everything he did. Me and my brother got the same one. His was on the inside of his arm. And my dad, which is my grandpa's son, was really touched by it. He was in a nursing home for like pretty much the last half of his life. And he didn't talk much and he didn't move a lot. And whenever I like walked in and would like say hi, I could just like see his face light up with like happiness. And it's like we shared a really like close bond whenever I'd go visit him. He lived in Tennessee, so I didn't get to see him much. But when I did see him, it was like really special, and we both knew like the time was, there wasn't a lot of time left to be with each other. So like this is my time to like really appreciate and like spread the message of what he meant.
I got the tattoo on my side because I really liked the verse. I read it, and it's been a big part of just competition and like how I've kind of viewed swimming as a sport. So to be able to kind of put that on my side and incorporate it in something like a fish, which works pretty well with swimming, just to be able to kind of do that and have it as a constant reminder to myself of why I do what I do, it's been really impactful to me. When I first came to Ball State, I became a part of Athletes in Action, and one of the main principles of Athletes in Action is it's called Audience of One, and it's centered on focusing only on your audience of one, who's God. So like to have that as a reminder that God is the audience who I'm trying to please, and He's the only one that matters, not the people in the stands, not not my teammates, not everybody else that is watching me. It's just a constant reminder to myself that I need to be focused on who I really need to please.
Just absolutely love hearing about the meaning behind people's tattoos, and I'm deathly afraid of spiders, so I think if I was in the same situation as Jake, I might have to get a tattoo of a spider if I never got sick again. And then you have to admire Jessica and her brother for getting a tattoo to remember their late grandpa. But I'm kind of just waiting for a Sports Link episode of Cardinal Ink, but really an awesome story on those three swimmers. Well, now let's bring in our social media host, Connor Onion. And Connor, obviously a lot to talk about now with fall season wrapping up and winter sports beginning. What's going on in the social media world?
Thanks, Zach. Plenty of storylines to go throughout Ball State athletics in this 2013 fall semester, as all the Ball State sports have been very successful here in the fall of 2013. But one team in particular is the Ball State Cardinals, and they were in Akron on October 26th as Tyler Bradfield and Sean Stewart traveled over to Akron, and they'll provide you with your sounds of the game on Sports Link Radio.
Good afternoon on a coldy and windy Saturday from Infocision Stadium in Akron, Ohio, as the Ball State Cardinals will look to stay atop the Mid-American Conference and improve to 8-1 on the season. Moves in motion from left to right, takes the snap, is winning, rolls out to his right after a fake handoff, lost one to the end zone, speed into the end zone, touchdown Ball State on the opening drive. Snap the pull, 4 receivers in the pattern, pull will be brought down, Nick Miles came around the end and dropped Pull in the backfield. Robert Stein for a 51-yard field goal with the left foot. The wind is at his back and he splits the upright. Just outstretched in front of him, takes the snap, drops the pass, flags fly in. It's Snead into the end zone. A one-hand by Willie Snead. Are you kidding me? There are flags down on the play, but I think the touchdown will stand. trips near side, one split wide to the left for Akron. A handoff to Chisholm, gaping hole to the 40. Midfield 45 of Ball State. Open grab to the 30, and he is going to take it all the way to the house. 10-5, touchdown Akron. Another handoff to Edwards right at the pile. He bounces out of this one, has a block in front of him by Keith Winning to the 20. Open grass to the 10, to the 5, on the far sideline. Dives to the end zone, but he was out of bounds at the 4. Now pulls away, hands off to Edwards to the 5. Edwards pushes the pile. Edwards leans in. His helmet is in, but is the football. He stretches forward, and the official signals touchdown Ball State. 4 down lineman for Ball State. They'll bring the pressure here. Snap the pull. He drops back at his own 43-yard line. Throws over the middle. It's intercepted by Ball State. Jeffrey Garrett returning into the 35-30. And clock will expire on the first half. Snap to Winning. He'll throw to the end zone. Into the corner. It's Smith. He brought it in. Touchdown Ball State. Snaps away to Bull. He drops to his own 50 to throw. He's going to throw to the end zone. And it is up in the air and intercepted. Ryan Jones brought it down for an interception for the Ball State Cardinals. No, that was Tyree Holder, a 5'11" redshirt freshman out of Florida. It's intercepted, and the Ball State Cardinals will win this one 42-24. They improve 8-1 on the season and stay unbeaten in the Mid-American Conference.
Thanks to Tyler Bradfield for being on the call on 91.3 WCRD, Ball State Sports Link Radio, and a special thanks to Luke Martin for putting together this month's pack of Sounds of the Game in Akron as the Ball State Cardinals improved to 8-1 on the season with a 42-24 victory in Akron. But one guy that was excited about the Ball State victory in Akron was Coach Lembo. Now let's take a look at a couple of tweets from Ball State athletes over the past month. Coach Lembo on the way back from Akron tweeted, "Good win today." At #Akron, 8-1 on the season. The guys are in good spirits on the bus, all set with chicken Parmesan subs and ESPN college football for the ride home. #anytime, anything, anywhere. The Cardinals will look to improve upon their 8-1 record as they take on Central Michigan on ESPN2 as they move on to NIU and Miami at the end of November. Ball State Field Hockey has also had a very solid fall season, and the Ball State Field Hockey official Twitter account tweeted out, "Couldn't be more proud of our team today. Worked hard, played smart, and fought together. #a new era. #chirp chirp." You'll hear from Anna Pride, Ball State Field Hockey player from New Zealand, later in the episode. Second-year women's basketball coach Brady Sally is excited to begin a second year in Ball State after leading the women's team to the Sweet 16 of the Women's NIT last season. They will open up November 10th at Purdue. As he tweeted, "In 3 weeks, Ball State women's basketball opens at Purdue. Lots to do, but I like the path we're on. #turning vision to action. #chirp chirp." Kelsey Shapiro, who you heard from earlier in the show, the girls soccer player, is very excited about the girls soccer team's very impressive season in the Mid-American Conference, but she'll be graduating at the end of November as the season concludes, and she tweeted this picture along with other soccer seniors Mamie Morris, Lane Schramm, and Michelle Block, as on senior day they fought to a 2-2 draw. First-year coach James Whitford is very excited about getting a start as the Ball State basketball team will take on Marion November 4th at Worthen Arena. Before the season, he had his Cardinals out in the community doing some community service work, and he tweeted this picture as he said, "Had a great time at the Ross Community Center with our players and some young future Cardinals. #blessed. Coach Whitford came over from Arizona and will look to improve upon the 15-15 record that the Cardinals had last year under Jimmy Taylor. That does it for our tweets and social media segment, but thank you to Luke Martin and Tyler Bradfield for putting together our Sounds of the Game and also our tweets on this month's episode of Driven. Zach, back to you.
Thanks, Connor. Now, when I tell you freshman year in college, let's all remember back to when we were freshmen, unless, of course, you are like Connor and you're a freshman this year or have yet to make the journey to college, but you probably think your first time away from home, you're 18 years old, you're learning how to be on your own, kind of learning maybe how to do laundry, how to get groceries for yourself. But the freshman field hockey player, Anna Pride, she's in a very unique situation this season as a freshman forward. She's from New Zealand, and she's the oldest player on this year's team. Check out her story called A Long Way From Home, produced by Tori Fox, Andy Wright, and our producer, Emily Barker.
I love understanding hockey. I hate to feel in a situation on the field where I don't understand what's happening, and sometimes since I've got here, I find myself in that situation because we're in very different styles of hockey.
On the field, obviously, she's got great hands. She's very smooth with the ball, and she has excellent vision on the field, and that's not something that is very teachable. And since they watch hockey at a very young age, she just gets it. She's very knowledgeable with the sport, so that I think is what drew me in most to her.
Freshman Anna Pride is no ordinary hockey recruit. While most players come from the United States, Pride hails from New Zealand, where a different approach is taken to this international sport.
We study hockey almost. So here you spend a lot of time, maybe 20 hours a week, and you play hockey for 20 hours. In New Zealand, you may play hockey for 5 hours and study it for 15.
For the coaching staff, recruiting Anna was a unique process, and when they finally connected, the relationship just clicked.
Basically, there's a lot of email services and recruiting services that the foreign kids will use. I got an email actually from Anna, and it was entertaining, I'm sure, as you can imagine. Video, which is obviously going to be huge, so watched a lot of video on her, and then basically just started talking to her via email and asking questions and really trying to get to know her. So she charmed us, and we did the same via email.
I was looking at a few. Kent State was in one of the top runnings there. I wanted to fit in somewhere where, you know, I could make friends and I could build a new family. And I don't know, Ball State seemed to do that well, and Gretchen sold Muncie really well. And I quote, "Muncie has everything you need."
While the move from New Zealand to the United States has been a big transition, Anna is getting used to and enjoying the little things that most Americans take for granted.
Some things I've gotten used to quicker than other things. For example, maybe in the first month or something, I keep going to the wrong side of the car because our cars are on the other side. So I keep jumping in the driver's seat, and I don't have a license, so I mean, I can't drive. I love squirrels. I love squirrels and I love chipmunks. I've only seen one chipmunk, but apparently they don't stick around for long, and I got the rare opportunity to not only drop my coffee, take my shoes off, grab my phone out of the bag, but they also let me video this chipmunk for 2 minutes. So apparently that's a rare thing. I was really excited about that.
Cars and chipmunks aside, Anna has already noticed a cultural difference that presents a challenge unlike any other.
Your guys' culture is really different in the sense that when we leave home, we've left home. Like when I left home, I was 45 minutes away from home, and I visited maybe once a year. Whereas these guys, their families come and visit them. Like Michaela's family traveled like 9 hours to come watch 2 games. And that would never happen. That 9 hours is like our whole country. So like after the games, I mean, they're all their families are here, and I think that's the moment I miss home the most, because not just my family, but my friends too. I'm like, well, you know, those are the times where you kind of miss your own family and your own friends and things back home like that.
Despite being so far from home, Anna and her family are still trying to find ways to connect.
They don't understand Skype. They've made a Skype, and Nana's made a Facebook under my Papa's page with no face, so it's a little creepy. But we're working on it. We're still trying to figure out the internet thing.
Although being a freshman, Anna is the oldest member of the Ball State field hockey team and hopes to use that unique characteristic to her team's advantage.
I'm still learning just as much as them, maybe if not more. I think in the next couple of years it'll be good, but for now, I'm just a freshman.
She's a great find for us, and it opens up a lot of doors in communication to getting other talented athletes over here, which is the plan. We love her, and I think you couldn't have asked for a better person or personality or just quality of kid than with Anna. I mean, she's wonderful. I think we're the lucky ones instead of her being lucky to find us.
I'm still absolutely loving the fact that she took her shoes off to play with the chipmunk and film it. But hey, who knows what we would do if we were over there in New Zealand for the first time. As I mentioned in the September episode of Driven, the field hockey team is definitely on the rise. They got a new turf field, and with freshmen like Anna Pride, they definitely are someone to watch out for coming in the future. But hey, that's going to do it for this episode of Driven. If you like these stories, we have way more that can be included on this 30-minute episode, especially with football season ending. We have 2 huge features on Keith Winning and Willie Snead coming very, very soon, so look out for those. And with the start of basketball season, you can meet all 16 players on this year's men's basketball team with our new 16 and 16 series. Come find us on Facebook by searching Ball State Sports Link, and follow us on Twitter at BSU Sports Link to find those stories. For our producer, Emily Barker, co-producer Luke Martin, social media host Connor Onion, And everyone on the floor, I'm Zach Hughes. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in November.